Hey guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for coming. I'm designed by Tola. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be sharing with you how to make this Bubu Kaftan gown with tight waist, as you're seeing in this video. Exactly the way it is in this video. That is how I'm going to be teaching you in this tutorial. Let's learn and let's have fun all together. If this feels and looks like what you want to learn, then let's go ahead into the video. All right, so in making this gown, I used the 3 yards of fabric. This fabric I used is a bridal fabric shining face, so I used 3 yards. So if you are maybe on the shorter, maybe you are a little bit, maybe you're shorter than me, then you can make use of 2.5 yards. Okay, so now the first thing I did, I folded this fabric into 2. To know the amount of folding you're going to do, calculate your measurement divided by 2 and then add your sleeve. For me, I used 12 inches for my sleeves with half of my shoulder, which is 8 inches. That's making 20. Then I added 1 inch extra, which is making it 21. So the folding I use is 21. So after then, now I'm going to mark out my shoulder, which I'm doing half of my shoulder, which is 8 inches. Then the length of the sleeve, which is 12 inches. You can see. Then I come here and mark out my neckline, which is 3 inches by 3 inches. This one I'm cutting here, and here right now is the back. All right, so because I wanted the neckline of the back to be a little bit low, so that was why I used 3 inches by 3 inches for the neckline. Okay, so now after that, I came down to my shoulder slope by 1 inch. As you can see, then I'm going to connect that 1 inch shoulder slope to my neckline, which I did. Then I'm going to come down by the sleeve length, which I told you 10 inches. So I used 10 inches for my sleeve, which is my bust point, and then I measured out my bust divided by 4, which is 40, and I added 5 inches to that. Okay, so then after I added 5 inches to that, I measured what I have left, which is 6.5 inches, and so that I can have a straight line all to the end of my material. So I marked that 6.5 inches also all to the end of my fabric. So now I'm just going to cut this out, as you can see that I'm doing here now, and make sure that the armhole area is curved. So now I've folded the front. As you can see there, the front is having 1.5 inches allowance because of that slit that we're having in front. So when you're folding your front, make sure it's 1.5 inches longer than the back, as you can see there. So on that mark, on that 1.5 inches mark, that is where I placed my front. On that 1 inches mark, sorry, that's where I placed my back. Okay, my front is having, so please note that the front is going to be 1.5 inches more than the back. Okay, then just place your back on the front exactly like this, and then cut out the same shape as you have already cut out for your back. All right, for the back. Then after we're done with that, I put my back aside, and then I want to work on the front now. So I want to cut out the neckline for the front. I use the same wideness I used for the neck of the back, and then I came down with I used 3 inches also for the depth of the front. Okay, so after I'm done with that, then I'm going to come on this mark of my 1.5 inches mark. I'm going to come down by 4 inches, which is going to make up for the upper slit, and then for the down slit I'm going to be marking 20 inches. So now I've marked that. Then I'm going to open up my front. You know, it was on fold initially, so I'm going to open it up, and then I'm going to take it to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew from the end of the upper slit to the end of the lower slit, which I have done. So if you see, I folded in the both edges of the slit, you can see, so that I always like my clothes, I always like a proper finishing. So that was why I sewed I folded in the sides of the slit to make it neat. So it's either you do this as I have done here exactly, which is folding in on both sides, or you take it to your weaving machine and then you weave both sides. Either way, the main aim we want to achieve is to make our outfits neat and beautiful, both inside and outside. You can see how the outside is also looking neat and smooth. Okay, so after then, you're going to take your hemming gum and place it exactly the way I place this tape roll, sorry, and you're going to use your iron to press it down. Why we are going to do that is to make sure that we keep it properly and perfectly in place, to avoid it from moving here and there. So after we're done with that, then we're going to be marking out where our belt is going to start. So now for me, I'm going to measure from my shoulder to my waist, which is 15 inches, and on that mark that I made, I'm going to divide my waist, sorry, into 4, which is 7. My waist is 28, so divided by 4, which is 7. I'm going to be marking that 7 inches on both sides of the gown, as you can see. So now after I've marked that, so on that mark, we're going to be placing our belt. But before that, I cut out this belt, and it is 4 inches wide by 30 inches long. So I cut out 2, which is going to be representing the both sides, and I'm going to go over to my sewing machine to close one end and open the other end. So I have done that. So I'm just going to turn this out into the right side, as you can see that I'm doing right here.
Never saw shit. I walk it, I talk it, I live it. Come to the birdhouse, look at the garage, nigga. My Bentley coupe got a couple pigeons. I was down on my ass, had to go a new direction. Bought my mama Gucci purse, gave it 10 racks, told her you ain't gotta stress it. It ain't even an emergency, and a nigga about to pull up in a 911 just to feed my dog.
So after I'm done turning it, then the other end which I did not close, I'm going to go over to my sewing machine and I'm going to close it down. So I've done that already. So now I'm going to place this belt on the mark which I have earlier. I'm just trying to lengthen this mark so that you can see the mark I'm actually talking about. So I'm going to be placing my belt on this mark like this, and I'm going to go over to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew this down. So after I'm done sewing that down, I'm going to sew the neck line also. I'm going to bring the back and place it on the front like this. Then I'm going to go over to join the shoulder, both sides of the shoulder with half of an inch. Then I'm going to use, then for this I use the bias to turn the neckline, but I would advise you use a facing. Just cut out the facing and use a facing to turn out the neckline. It's going to come out very beautiful, more beautiful than this. So as you can see, I use the bias to turn the neckline. So, and I have gone ahead to stitch down the belt, so on the front of this outfit, as you can see. So now the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to stitch down the sleeves down to the length of the gown. So for the sleeve, I'm going to be folding it by 1 inch, a double fold by 1 inch, and then I'm going to sew it down. So then for this part, which is the down part, I'm going to be folding that also by 1 inch. So you can see a beautiful and gorgeous outfit is ready. So you can see that is the neck, which I've turned with the bias, and you can see how beautiful this came out to be. So if you want yours to be more beautiful than this, I'd advise you use facing for your neck. Just cut out a facing for both the front and the back, and then you use hemi gum to gum that down. It's going to make it more beautiful and neat. It's going to make it neater, which I mean for the neckline than this. So as you can see, this is our gown. You can see how beautiful and smooth is looking already. So this is the back of the gown. So the back is not going to be having a belt, just the front. You can see how neat and smooth this is. Please, if you like this video, I will appreciate to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you're yet to subscribe to my channel, I'm going to be giving out sewing tutorials, helpful and useful sewing tutorial tips a lot on my channel. Please, if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please click on the subscribe button, like this video if you have found it helpful. Give your comments down below on what other styles or what other designs you want me to make for you. Okay, thank you so much for watching till the end of this video. I really appreciate it a lot. So to make this inner, to make it very neat, you take it to your weaving machine and you weave the sides from the sleeves down to the sides. You're going to weave it with your weaving machine, okay, to give you, so that both the inside and the outside of your gown is going to look very beautiful and neat. All right, thank you so much for watching till this end, and bye bye.